What's up, cool cats and kittens? Uncle Mad here for another wonderful video. And for today's video, we're gonna do a little bit of wilderness exploring. So why don't you come along? Let's go into the woods, if you will. Now, the wilderness area that we're going to explore today may look very familiar to some of you, those of you who know me personally, as it is the woods directly behind my parents' house. Some of you may have explored this area with me in the past. Some of you may have appeared in videos that were filmed here much further in the past. I don't think I've been back in here in maybe 20 years. There used to be a lot of paths. It used to be easily navigatable, but just already coming through the gate, I've noticed that it's changed a little bit. There's definitely not as much space to explore as there used to be right out of the gate. You see, I'm kind of show you that as we go. I kind of theorize that maybe, who knows, maybe there's not as many kids running around back here. Maybe parents don't let their kids run around back here like they used to. But yeah, back when we were kids, we used to just kind of walk back through here. I remember there was older kids in the neighborhood that had four-wheelers that would kind of run through here, and that probably helped keep the paths cut and available. But you know, right out of the gates, I see one way I used to be able to go is no longer accessible. So if you come from my parents' backyard and take a right, back here you used to be able to go straight back through here and go pretty much all the way to the back side of these woods where the old Odom sausage plant is located, or was located. Now a lot of trees have fallen down, storm damage over the years, some new ones have grown up. It's just not accessible the way it used to be back in the day. You know, this used to be a straight path to cut along that would go right behind the houses that are kind of over that way, but not anymore. Can't really go that way. Now, if you were to turn left coming out of my parents' backyard, you would see a really creative use of the space that the woods offers behind us as my parents' neighbors kind of expanded their backyard. They put up a volleyball net, they've got some seating areas, a little fire pit. It's a pretty cool use of space. They put in a pool and also a large garage that kind of took up a lot of the backyard they had when they moved in, but they found a way to expand and utilize this space that just kind of is chilling behind the houses. So good job to them. Let's keep going, see how far we can get going the other way. And see here, you can see once again fallen trees, some fallen debris blocking what used to would have been the path that you could go a little bit deeper that way into the woods. But I think we might be able to go this way a little bit and see what we can find out. So let's give it a shot. Now it occurs to me that back in the day when I used to kind of hang out and wander around back here, probably wasn't such a big deal because, you know, it's just kids playing around. But now if anybody happens to see me walking back here, it might come off a little weird. Just a weird old man wandering through the woods, but whatever. What else is there to do? Let's just see what's going on. So no real path to navigate back here, but it's not so overgrown that we can't just wander through and, ow, run into a twig here and there. Definitely not the easily accessible carved out paths we used to have back here. Now, I believe we have come on to what used to be the more accessible parts of the path. You can kind of look down and see that this is much more easily to navigate. I believe if we were to go up that way, we would come up on a dead end just down the street from my parents' house. That was another way that people used to, back in the day, access the woods. I haven't been back here in so long. I really hope I don't get lost wandering around back here. I used to know exactly where to go and how to find things. Definitely more of a path back here in this part than what we were going through in the front part of the woods. Also hope there aren't any other creepy old men wandering around back here like me. Because they may have not good intentions, unlike me, who just wants to film and acquire content. Oh, there's a spider web. Good job. Blah. I've noticed a lot of what is probably poison ivy and poison oak around the areas I'm walking through, but I'm not allergic to either, so not too terribly worried about it. So I'm gonna press on, keep trying to find my way to some of the old cut-arounds and pathways that used to exist back here. So I've found the fence line once again that kind of goes behind the neighborhood here. So this should allow me to get a little bit more of my bearings. There definitely is not a path back here like there was 20 years ago. I guess kids are spending so much time indoors playing video games, Fortnite, Pokemon, what have you. Many of the things our youth correspondent has told us about, that they're just not exploring and coming back into this area and cutting paths the way me and my friends used to would have done back in the day. I have walked through about 500 spider webs. If I come out of this without bug bites and spider bites, it'll be a miracle. Ah. Once again, back up to the fence line. I want to get over this fence and see what's on the other side, kind of get a better idea of exactly where I am. Because I kind of have lost my way back here, just a tiny bit. I'm going to keep going for just a bit to see if I get a better idea of exactly where I am. That looks not good. Oh, ow, 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 ow. Son of a bee. All right, we've reached a spot of the fence that's got knocked down a little bit already. So this seems like as good a time as any to make my way back to the other side. See where I'm gonna pop out at. Hopefully I'm not just in some random person's backyard. That would be not good. I'm sure they wouldn't like that. All right, I see daylight. Okay. We actually ended up where I was trying to end up. If you are from the area, my parents and I will recognize this. This is the football field at Neely's Bend Middle School. And up over the hill there, you'll see Neely's Bend Middle School. If I'm being perfectly honest, it is totally a miracle I popped out here. It used to be, the woods had like perfect cut trails. You know, I knew exactly which turns, where to go to get to the backside of the woods, to come out here by the field. Used to come down here, kick the soccer ball around, cut through the woods rather than coming down the busy streets and stuff like that, but there is no semblance of the paths that once existed back there. And maybe it's just my natural navigating instincts. Maybe I'm a natural navigator and I was able to find my way where I was trying to get to, which was here at the field. But I'm not going to try to do that again, because the odds are I'll get lost. I'll be stuck here forever. So I'm just going to go walk down the streets. Now here on the opposite side of the football field, we have this hill, and back in the day, this used to be the sickest place to come and sled whenever we got a good snow, which was few and far between, but about once a year, there'd be a really nice day where we'd get a heavy snowfall and you'd come down here and sled on this hill. And it was pretty cool. Now we are on the corner of Cheyenne Boulevard and Neely's Bend. Looking down that way, you see Mapco Express, which was the hottest of hot spots on Neely's Bend back in the day. I remember riding my bike there used to be awesome, because it was like the first like actual place I was allowed to ride my bike to other than like friends' houses. So I was constantly coming up with excuses of reasons I needed to go down there, like I want to kind of drink we don't have in the house. I want a jungle juice, so I got to ride my bike down to Mapco, or need some candy, I'm going to ride my bike down to Mapco. So now, I'm going to head back up Neely's Bend, back towards my parents' house. Over here, though, you can see the tennis courts by the middle school. Another spot I used to come to quite often. Come out here and play a little bit of soccer tennis. So, not necessarily the intended purpose of the tennis courts, but in my humble opinion, soccer tennis greater than regular tennis. So that's what I would play right out there. Got some school buses over here. Not getting a whole lot of use out of these at this time, with schools pretty much shut down for the remainder of the year, depending on when you're watching this. If you're watching this 5 years from now, schools may be back in session. We have no way of knowing. I feel like I knew somebody who lived in this condominium complex over here. Can't put my finger on it. I seem to remember somebody I know lived over there at some point in time. Not sure who, though. Maybe these are false memories that were implanted in me by the government. All right, so we are almost back to my parents' house after Our journey didn't go exactly as I had planned. I was not aware of just how overrun the old paths that used to wind through the woods had become. I mean, they basically don't exist anymore. I was just stumbling around trying to find my way. It's honestly a miracle I popped out where I actually had planned on popping out by the school, but it was interesting nonetheless to see what has changed back there. You know, I thought maybe I would find some of the old filming locations, some familiar spots, but you know, it's just pretty much unrecognizable back there. There's no real paths or walkways or anything. It's just overrun woods. But I didn't encounter any other weird creepers stalking around back there. I didn't get arrested, so I'm gonna call that mission accomplished. And we're gonna wrap up for today. As always, please subscribe to the channel if you've not done so already, and make sure you hit the bell so that you receive notifications of all videos, so that the next time I wander around into a forbidden space, you get to watch it. Like this video, as always. I really appreciate those thumbs up. They make me feel good about myself. And leave me some comments down below if you have ideas of weird places I could wander around. Suggest them. I'll be happy to do so. But that's it for today. And as always, one of the reasons I chose to go in the woods was to make sure I was distant from everybody. Good timing on that. But I wanted to be distant from everybody so I didn't have to say this, but now that I'm returning to society, I have to say it. Don't stand so close to me. Goodbye.